going on YouTube? Today's video, we have the very cheapest subwoofer that you can get from Amazon. This thing retails for $11.99. Let's see what this thing can do. Real quick, guys, if you just don't feel like you are at a cool enough place in life where you can get one of these bad boys right here and go banging down the block, instead you want something not quite so high profile, well then, guys, you need to check out today's sponsor. That is, of course, Alfred Audio, the owners of Defbonts and Avatar. Quick word from them, then back to the video. Man, this is a cool little speaker. I can't wait to test this thing out. Oh, man. Guys, if you want to actually get loud, have some great quality bass, you need to check out Alfred Audio. They have a ton of awesome subs. They've got some great beginner, more budget-friendly options like this Machete Fight S. Or if you want a big boy, we got the big old Apocalypse. Big fella over here. They also make tons of amps, tons of incredible high-quality speakers. Everything I've tested out so far has been some of my favorite stuff and has just blown me away with how good it sounds and how well it performs. So much so, in my last really big build that I did, I ran all their equipment. I ran the batteries, I ran their subs, I ran one of their massive 20K amps, and I was so pleased with it, and everybody that heard it was so pleased with it too. It literally just blew people away. Okay, a blue hair, not quite people. But hey, I was just going for blowing around some hair, so that works out. If you want to check out some awesome gear from them, alfredaudio.us. Link will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much. Let's get back to the video. Today, we have the Pyle PLMW36. And yes, this is the very cheapest subwoofer that you can get on Amazon. At least it says this thing is a subwoofer. We're going to go over that in this video. Now, you'll see all over this box, it does say it is a subwoofer. It's not just some, like Amazon title that says subwoofer. Like, they want you to know that this guy is a subwoofer. Here is the little speaker itself, or should I say sub? Yep, you can see on the speaker itself, guys, it says subwoofer right there. Of course, 3.5-inch single voice coil, 4 ohm, 20 watts. In the box, you of course get the sub. You get 4 screws, you get their warranty card, you get a grill, and of course the specs sheet. Let's take a look at this thing. We've got a PP with rubber edge cone, high-powered car subwoofer. High-powered, guys. This is a lab-tested Pro Audio woofer performance, whatever that means. Single voice coil. This has a massive butyl rubber surround, high-strength engineered plastic basket, compatible with sealed enclosure speaker box audio setup, impressive bass response, low response, frequency output, designed for custom car audio, truck, mobile, vehicle applications. Of course, made with ABS plastic. Power handling is 20 watts max, 10 watts RMS. And hey, remember guys, it did say, of course, high-powered car subwoofer, so totally makes sense. Single 4 ohm, 1-inch coil. Voice coil type is a high temp aluminum. The frequency response here is also kind of problematic. It says it is a 110 to 156 kilohertz. Sensitivity is 85 dB, and there are the dimensions. Now here's the thing, guys. I know a lot of y'all are gonna say, Parker, this isn't a subwoofer. This video is clickbait, all that stuff. And I'll have to say, I agree, guys, this is not really a subwoofer, and we'll go over why here in a second. But Amazon advertises this as a subwoofer, so a normal consumer looking for a cheap subwoofer is going to see this little guy for under 12 bucks. The box and the sub itself says subwoofer all over it, so that would kind of point at the marketing being a little bit misleading. But, guys, we don't just look at this and assume. We're going to hook this thing up. We're going to have to see what frequencies it plays and see if, hey, if you get any sounds in those actual subwoofer kind of range of frequencies, we'll see. Okay, starting out with this little manual here, I'm going to go over the issues that I see. One, it says this is a high-powered car subwoofer. Now, of course, I guess that's kind of subjective. What does high-powered mean? That being said, there's absolutely no way I could say 10 watts RMS is high powered. Next problem I have is that this thing says it has a massive rubber surround on it. I don't know if I would consider that massive. For example, guys, we have this dusty Sundown ZV6 sitting over here. Now this has got a massive surround. So big that this whole little guy fits inside it. This brings me to my final overall problem with this thing is that, hey, they call it a subwoofer. Now, guys, what is a subwoofer? Well, according to Wikipedia and pretty much any other car audio blog, any other website that you can find out there, a woofer is any speaker that plays very low octaves. Most woofers are not gonna play, you know, maybe 2500 hertz and below. And then, of course, once you get into a subwoofer, pretty much everybody agrees that a subwoofer play between 20 and 200 hertz. And most songs that have bass music in them that you would need a subwoofer for have bass that is in that generally around 40 hertz range. Now, of course, guys, this guy does not fit in those parameters whatsoever. Plays 100 to 156,000 hertz. That is not normal. Definitely not normal subwoofer specs whatsoever. Not really even woofer specs. Just to go on from that, this thing says it plays up to 156 kilohertz. Now, guys, that doesn't even make any sense. Your normal tweeters, I believe, play in the 20 kilohertz range. Maybe they'd go up to, 30 kilohertz. But hey, your nicest tweeter out there, I don't believe it's playing anywhere near 100 kilohertz. What is going on here? For comparison, guys, we've got the super nice three-way down for sound system over here. This has got a woofer, a mid-range, and a tweeter. Got our tweeter. It has a frequency response of, I don't know why that V is there, but it's 5 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz. We've then got your mid-range over here. This guy has a frequency range of 110 to 5 kilohertz. But the way they have this guy actually set up, even though it can play lower, this system would block it out at about 750 hertz. We've then got the woofer over here. You'll notice the woofer is a lot bigger. To really reproduce that bass frequency, you need a speaker that actually has at least some cone area to really help move that air. So this woofer over here, remember guys, this is not a subwoofer. This is just a woofer. This guy has a frequency response of 57 to 750 hertz. So there's a little bit of an explanation, kind of the difference. And then, of course, hey, over here, I've got an actual subwoofer. So, of course, this guy over here is going to be able to play those low frequencies, generally speaking, 20 to 200 hertz. There are subs out there that can get below 20 hertz, get down to 15 or 10 hertz. That being said, your ears, generally speaking, don't hear the frequencies all that well once you get below 20 hertz. All right, y'all, I can sit here and talk about specs and whatnot all I want to. Doesn't really matter. What y'all want to see is in the real world, what does this guy really do? So I went ahead, picked up 5 of these guys. We've got one just to abuse a little bit, see what it takes to pop it. And I've got 4 extras. We're going to build a real little sealed box for it, just to stick them in there, hook it up and play it, and see how it sounds. Let's get into it. Real quick, guys, I know a lot of y'all know this, but I have a lot of new people on the channel too that are just learning, so I want to show y'all this real quick. Each one of these speakers is a 4 ohm speaker, as you can see right there. Now, if we wire all the positives together, that'll drop us down to 1 ohm, and some amps are not what is called 1 ohm stable. Some amps can only go down to maybe 2 ohms, maybe 4 ohms. So in order to get around that, we got to wire up a little differently. So what we do, we take 2 sets of speakers, this set and this set. We go positive from this speaker to negative onto this speaker. So in your speaker, you have a coil, goes in positive, comes out negative is kind of the way to think of it. And there is resistance within that coil. That resistance is 4 ohms. So when we go through the positive of this coil, out the negative, around here, and then through this positive, together from here to here, That brings us up to 8 ohms. So we do that here, we do that here. We have 8 ohms, right? Then we go from this positive to this positive out to my main wire that's gonna go to my amp. Go from this negative to this negative out to my main wire that's gonna go to my amp. That drops the final impedance of all 4 speakers wired together back down to 4 ohms. Okay, this is by far the jankiest little box I've ever made, but knocked it out in like 45 minutes. Then let the caulk dry overnight, so ready to go. Let's hook this little guy up, see how these things do. Alright, as you can see, he plays those normal vocals just fine. A very interesting subwoofer over here. Next off, let's put this on the sub channels on the head unit so we only have bass going through it. See what we get. Okay, let's run some test tones through it. Okay, we'll start at like 200 hertz, kind of go down from there, see if you can really tell where these things sound good and where they don't sound good. Let's get it. All right, let's give it 200 hertz, see what it sounds like. All right, let's give it 150 hertz. Let's give it 100 hertz. There you go, that sounds... It does seem to like that. Let's give it 90 hertz, 85 hertz, 80 hertz, 75 hertz, 70 hertz, 65 hertz, 60 hertz, 55 hertz, 50 hertz, 45 hertz, 40 hertz, 35 hertz, 30 hertz, 25 hertz, 20 hertz, 15 hertz, 10 hertz. All right, it definitely sounds best around 100 hertz as far as, bass. All right, now I've got just a single guy hooked up. We're, of course, running this guy off my micro amp over here. This guy is 80 watts times 2 at 2 ohms, so probably about 40 watts at a 4 ohms. Let's see what this guy can take. Well, we got this guy free air, and let's try some rebased, real low frequency music, just to kind of see what it looks like. All right, let's push a little more power to it. I've got this old Kicker 500.1 sitting up here. Pretty sweet little old amp. So yeah, we're gonna hook this thing up, see what it does to it. that was just the sound of it smacking, maxing out super bad. Obviously, we just got free airing here, but hey, it's still going. I was actually pretty shocked. I thought it was going to blow real quick, but it didn't. So, kind of cool, guys. Anyway, next, let's hook up this boy over here to the kicker amp. See how well that does. This is a metal workbench. Really kind of rattles, has a lot of vibration, so I'm going to set this guy over here on these cardboard boxes. That really should help get rid of all those vibrations. We'll see if this thing really, sounds any better. All right, next up, let's get these things to pop and see what happens. Look at him go. Oh, boy. That is that, y'all. Let's power it off. Look at that, guys. I guess the pressure or something just sucked that dust cap cover right in. That's crazy. Oh, she's nice and blown. She's nice and blown. That one still feels fine, but it wasn't going, so it must be blown too. This guy's super blown. All right, let's pop this guy out and see what the damage is. Whew. You can see all that smoke coming out of there. Stinky. Oh, I see what it did. Look at that. That guy right there started coming loose. I guess that let some air get in there, messed up the pressure. Kind of sucked the dust cap in there. Let's pop this whole thing off of here. Sweet, there's that. Ow, that is hot. There's that little coil. Look at how charred that thing is, but honestly surprised it lasted as long as it did. All right, guys, that is Amazon's cheapest and honestly probably smallest subwoofer out there that you can get. Now, obviously, honestly, guys, I would say at best this thing is more of a mid-range speaker. Once you get down into those bass frequencies, guys, this thing sounds muddy. Just no reason you would get this, to play those bass frequencies. So, but regardless, guys, it was $11.99, so fun to mess around with it and see what it could do. And the one positive thing I do gotta say about it is these guys ended up lasting a good deal longer than I expected. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Remember, as always, guys, keep basing on.